We agree upon number 78.
That's correct. It's a joint motion.
Number 78 on motion of the state and defense.
I think we agree upon number 94.
That's correct. It's a joint motion.
State defense motion is
And I think we agree on 143.
That is correct. It's a joint motion.
143.
I think those are all that we agree upon. Is that correct, Ms. President?
Yes.
There is one more I would make, which is number 73.
You want to go ahead and entertain that, Council?
I do.
Then we'd be objecting to a cause challenge.
Just a moment. All right, go ahead. Orient is to number 73.
Mr. Miller indicates what I would describe, although he did not use this term, as a bias. He said, and I paraphrase, that he would have more than the average sympathy for people with mental illness and be more inclined to support the he would be more inclined to support testimony about mental illness and would be more inclined to accept mental health experts because of their credentials and his life experience.
I believe upon further questioning from the state that he clarified that he does not have sympathy towards one side or the other, that he would be able to listen to the testimony, and he would also be able to discount the testimony of experts if he did not feel that that testimony should be admissible or as credible. So I believe that he explained that he would be able to be fair and impartial and weigh all the evidence regarding mental health.
Okay, thank you. I have excellent recollection of that testimony. I paid close attention to it. Took note. The court has reasonable doubts as to his ability to be fair and impartial. The state motion as to number 73 is granted his excuse for cause. Okay?
And that's over defense objection?
Yes. Any others?
No, sir.
Defense at this juncture, any others?
No, Your Honor.
All right. We're ready to bring the panel in and continue.
Yes, sir.
Judge, if we could just have 1 minute, we'll let those people know.
Okay, go ahead.
Your Honor, I misspoke earlier when I gave you kind of a roadmap for scheduling. I see and came brought to my attention that I did not ask the last 2 rows to give us the quick biographies. And can you do that with additional activity before? Be a little bit more time consuming. That's all. Still,
Understand the limitation. Sometime before 5 o'clock. I still intend to stop somewhere at 5:30 range.
I'm going to clear these if you need to extend the notification of the questions on the question. Also looking at the process and obviously the issues in the resolution itself. I think it actually
Yes.
Bring the panel in.
All right, and everything is working.
And everyone can be seated. Councilman, you may continue.
Thank you. If I could address the fourth row on the issue of whether any of you have suffered mental illness or have encountered that in the lives of close friends or family. Okay. Number 136. She has asked to approach the bench.
May I approach?
else? Yes, sir. Number 141. Number 142, yes, ma'am.
I just feel like I should be really honest because I feel there's all different levels of mental illness, so with anxieties involved under it.
Well, I guess for the sake of this inquiry, sure.
Well, I mean, I've had anxieties in the past, like a worrier or something that I just talked to somebody about, just techniques, but I feel like I should be very,
Oh, I see,
you
okay.
know what I mean? So
Okay.
I think there's all levels of mental health illness
Sure.
and it will not affect any of my decisions. I
Okay.
can go by the evidence given.
Is that something that you had to have treatment for over a long period of time?
No, it's just when I was young, I was a worrier, so I wanted to stop worrying about everything, so I wouldn't talk, so I didn't even really need to be on medication.
Okay.
But I felt like I should tell
No, I
them.
appreciate that. Is that, you think that would affect your ability to serve as a fair and impartial juror?
Not at all.
Okay. Again, would you still be willing to consider an insanity defense?
Yes, I believe in different levels of mental illness, and I also believe in evidence and everything that's involved in making every fair and proper decision.
And although you can't really set aside your life experience, can you, so to speak, compartmentalize it and not inject your experience into your deliberations,
Yes, sir.
if that's humanly possible, if you know what I mean?
Yes, sir. I just wanted to be very honest.
Thank you, ma'am. I don't have any further questions on that. Thank you. Number 158, yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I have a couple cousins that have mental illness. One of which committed suicide.
Sorry.
And my husband's grandfather had committed suicide. And I have a daughter, an adopted daughter who suffers with social anxiety disorder.
The cousins that you referenced, were you involved in their lives?
Not really. It never affected me directly.
Or did you have knowledge at the time of their situations? In their treatment, or assisting in treatment, or anything like that. Okay. Would you be more accepting of a mental health professional's testimony because of either your daughter's situation or your other relatives?
I would certainly listen to what he had to say, but I wouldn't make a sole decision on his testimony.
What was the diagnosis for your cousin that?
I don't really know. I think depression was one. The other one, I'm not really sure. She was quite a bit older than I was when I was younger. I'm not really sure what she was diagnosed as.
Is there anything about their experience or their illness that would affect your ability to serve as a fair and impartial juror?
Yes.
Thank you. Is there anyone else on the last one? Is there anyone who has encountered mental illness personally or in their family? We'll start with Amanda.
Yes, I'm kind of like a member that had some type of, I believe, mental retardation, for lack of a better name. Sorry about that.
Was it aunt or uncle or?
Like a great
Were you involved much in her life?
no, I mean, I would see her family gatherings or, no.
Were you involved in any a training or education or treatment that she may have experienced?
No.
Is there anything about her experience or your knowledge of her experience that you think may affect your ability to serve on the jury?
No.
Thank you, ma'am. Number 172. Yes, sir. Please. 172. Was there anyone else on the last row that I haven't addressed? Yes, sir, number 173.
Yes, I had a niece who, during her teens, suffered with mountainous depression, and a nephew's wife who was diagnosed bipolar and is being treated.
Are you actively involved in following her course of treatment or care?
No, my niece is still in New York. I've been down here 10 years, and my nephew, his wife, don't live in Tampa. I see them on occasion, once or twice a year. So.
Is there anything about their situation or their condition that would cause you not to be fair and impartial?
No, there is not.
Would you be more inclined to be accepting of a mental health defense or the testimony of mental health professionals given their situation?
No, I would not.
Okay, thank you, sir. Number 174, sir.
Yes. My brother had a mild case of depression a few years ago when he was divorced. He was on medication, and since then he's doing fine. They live on the West Coast. Lived with my parents.
Okay. Were you involved in his life during that time?
No, I worked the last 7 years, so I don't think you two out.
Even though long distance, were you stay in contact to determine what type of treatment or anything like that?
Yes.
Okay. As a result of your decision, we're accepting any mental health defense or the testimony of any mental health professional?
Yes.
Okay. Anything about your brother's situation that would cause you to be not to be fair or impartial? Okay, thank you. Anyone else on the back row? I have not asked the folks on the 4th and 5th rows for their biographies, so let me do that at this point and start with number 165, sir. Yes, sir. If you could tell me, about yourself.
This is where you get to stand up for me, be helpful.
Yes, son of a truck driver, so my father was gone for great length of time. Moved around, so I've been to 13 different schools before I went to high school. From Iowa, lived in Georgia, lived in Florida, lived in California. Currently,
Yes, sir, I know it's very difficult, but you're sort of in the back, and they're having trouble hearing you. If you could speak up.
right now I'm working as an engineer, and I've been back in Tampa for about 2.5 years. Been working professionally for about 15 total, so do a lot of traveling.
And what discipline is your degree in?
Chemical engineering.
Okay, sir. Your marital and family status?
Single, no kids.
Okay. And what do you like to do for hobbies, sir?
Read.
Okay. Anything about, what type of topics?
I'm into microelectronics.
I have no follow-up. Do you have any questions, sir, about any of the topics we've talked about? Thank you, sir. Number 167, please.
Yes, I am married with 3 adult children. Been married for 40-odd years. I have a dental degree. I also have a master's degree in business administration. I worked for the VA for 36 years. I'm retired. Hobbies, I play tennis, I sail, and I swim.
Thanks, sir. Your career and background, essentially not very damaged.
I can't.
Any questions about any of the concepts or principles we've talked about?
What questions?
Any concerns about whether you could be fair or impartial for any reason or issue we've addressed?
No concerns.
Thank you, sir. Number 169. Good afternoon, ma'am. Please tell us about yourself.
I'm a single mom. I have 2 children. I have an AA in liberal arts, pursuing bachelor, but I put that on hold for a while. I'm a mortgage home loan processor for a large bank. hobbies, I like to cook, read, like to read about history.
Okay. Any questions about any of the issues or principles we've talked about?
No.
Okay. Do you believe you could be a fair and impartial juror in this case?
Yes.
Thank you. Number 171, would you tell us about yourself?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
I work in claims for a life insurance company. I'm single. I have one little 1-year-old boy. My father was in the military, in the Air Force for 27 years. He's retired now. I like to read, game, and go to Disney World.
Okay, ma'am. Let me ask you, with your father being in the military, did you as a family have to travel considerably?
Yes.
Okay. Given the fact that this incident occurred within the context of a military family, would that affect your ability to serve as a fair and impartial juror?
No, at all.
Do you think any of the challenges or stresses of being in a military family would affect your view of the evidence in any case? Is there any legal principle or issue that we've spoken about that you have any questions or concerns about?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Sir, number 172, please tell us about yourself.
Native Tampan, I do technical support for I guess we could say we're now a large company that deals with practice management in the doctor's office. Prior to that, I used to do technical support for a large company that sold computers and has recently gone private. My passion has always been to deal with technology and troubleshooting, so computers, software, people. When I'm not dealing with that at work, then my hobbies are reading, playing video games, cooking.
Okay, sir. And what is your educational background?
I completed high school. I also went to Job Corps for a period of time for additional education.
And your family situation, sir?
I am in a long-distance, long-term relationship.
Okay. Any children?
Negative.
Does distance have something to do with that?
I'm not ready for children, and I'd rather wait until I'm ready.
I understand, sir. Do you have any questions or issues that you'd like to discuss about any of the legal principles we've talked about?
None. And also to touch on the question that everyone else has answered, I do have family that did make a career out of military. That would be my uncle's now ex-wife. She was in Air Force, I think, 10 or 12 years. They traveled a lot, but that was not the reason for their relationship splitting, so I don't see that being a stressor of that.
Great. Thank you, sir. Number 173, please tell us about yourself.
Born and raised in New York City. Have a bachelor's degree in computer science and economics. Been working for a large bank for 20 years as an application development manager. I'm married, coming on 19 years. 2 children, a teenager, a 16 and a 12-year-old. I have a brother-in-law who's now in the military, who just signed up for a career, and a nephew who served for 9 years, and they both served tours in either Iraq or Afghanistan.
Anything about your knowledge of their lifestyles or their challenges that would affect your ability to serve as an employee?
Not.
Do you have any questions about any legal issues or principles we've addressed throughout this day?
So I'm here alone.
Thank you, sir. Number 174, sir, could you tell us about yourself?
Yes. Born and raised in Washington State, been in Florida for 7 years. I have a bachelor's and master's degree in nursing. I'm a doctoral student in higher education administration at USEC. Single, no kids. Enjoy camping, fishing, tennis, bowling. I have an uncle who retired from the military, but that was when I was really young, so I don't know too much about my uncle and my aunt's situation, other than that he lived in California before he moved out to Washington.
All right, sir. Any questions about any of the legal issues or principles we've talked about?
No, sir.
Any thing that you can think about that would prevent you from being a fair and impartial juror?
No.
Thank you, sir. Sir, number 175.
Hello, I've been in Tampa 50 years. I graduated high school. I did 2.5 years of college at the USF. I'm happily married for 23 years. I have a 21-year-old daughter.
Do you have any questions about any of the legal issues or principles we've talked about?
No, it's been very fair.
Okay, do you think you can be a fair and impartial juror?
Yes, I do.
Thank you, sir. Ma'am, number 176.
I'm married. I have an adult daughter, 33. I'm also a legal guardian for over 20 years to a 38-year-old disabled woman. I'm a teacher with the school district, and I have been for 28 years. Born and raised in Oshkosh, Wisconsin. Been down here.
There's still a hint of that.
I've been going since 73. I'm good.
Can I ask, ma'am, the nature of the lady's disability for whom you're a guardian?
She's cognitively disabled.
All right. Is there anything about her situation, your involvement in her situation, that you think may affect your ability to weigh mental health testimony or evidence?
No.
Okay. Do you have any questions about any of the principles we've talked about?
No, I don't.
Do you have any close family or friends that have been career military?
No, I mean, a couple uncles years ago, I didn't even know them because they lived away from Oshkosh.
Okay. You think you could be a fair and impartial juror?
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am. Number 181. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
Tell us about yourself, please.
I'm from Plant City. Been married 20 years. I have 2 children, a 14-year-old and a 16-year-old. I've been a supervisor of bank management for a DME company for the past 9 years. My father was in the military. He got out in 2006, active in the military now.
What do you like to do in your spare time?
Cook and shop.
Okay. And how far have you gone to school?
2 years of college.
Okay, then. Do you have any questions about any of the legal issues we've talked about? Do you think you could be a fair and impartial juror in this case? Thank you, ma'am. Starting over against the wall, number 164. Good afternoon, ma'am. Please tell us about yourself.
I'm a native of Tampa. Married 35 years. With an airline for 36 years. I have 2 sons, 32 and 26. 3 grandchildren, 5, 4, and 2. And a bachelor's in business. Who has a car? So we do a lot of car shows.
Do you have any questions about any of the issues we've talked about? Do you have any family or close friends who are career military? Do you believe you could be a fair and impartial juror in this case? Thank you, ma'am. Number 162, sir.
I've been married 34 years, got 2 adult children, a career educator, a master's in ed leadership, education leadership, and former principal of education for a couple of years now. I'm a PE teacher in Polk County. No questions, no military career, family and friends, and I can be impartial.
Thank you so much. Sir, number 161, tell us about yourself, please.
Yeah, my name is Bishop. I was born in Ghana, West Africa. I've been here for almost 40 years. After high school, I became a professional librarian and a member of the British Library Association.
I'm sorry, sir, you became a professional
librarian.
Oh, I see.
Associate member of the British Library Association. I left and came here and went to American University in Washington, School of International Service, studied international affairs and economics in my master's degree. Since then, I worked for the Bank of America for the past 15 years, retired last year. Before then, I lived in Warner Robins, and I worked with the Bibb County District Attorney's Office for about 6 years.
What did you do in that capacity?
I was with the Civil Division in Charleston.
Is there anything about your experience in that office that may make you biased towards the state because of your prior employment?
Not sure. But I have a question on evidence. I think you were talking about why, the motive. I have asked and I think even though the state, because I personally, I think you have to prove prove somebody medical for such a crime, that it has to be higher. The standard has to be high.
Okay, sir. Thank you. I think I understand your concern and what you told me. Is it simply that, not simply, but that you are going to require of the state a degree of evidence more than beyond a reasonable doubt?
Exactly.
Okay, so you would impose upon the state a burden that the law does not?
Well, I don't know what the law said, but when you were talking initially, you said it shouldn't be that high. At first, I think it should be very high.
Okay, well, I may have, let me see if I can clarify. The law in the state of Florida is a burden of proving guilt. That's always on the state of Florida. Producing evidence beyond and to the exclusion of every reasonable doubt. It is a considerable and high standard, and the judge will give a legal definition of that. Can you live with that standard and accept that standard? Oh. Okay, so I should have couched the question in that manner. If the judge instructs you that the state has to prove the defendant's guilt to the exclusion and beyond every reasonable doubt, can you follow that law and apply that standard to the case in the past?
That's what I have a problem.
Even if you were so instructed, you would want more evidence, require more evidence before you can put through? Okay, thank you, sir. I appreciate the Number 160. Please tell us about yourself.
I lived in Tampa, Missouri my life.
Can you speak up a little bit, please?
I lived in Tampa my life. After I'm college, I worked at the United States Post Office. Hobbies is mountain bike riding, racing, riding, exercising, outdoor activities.
And tell us about your family, single, married?
Never been married. I have one child. Never been served in the military. My father retired military for some years. I was very young when he retired, so I don't really have too many memories.
Okay. Have you heard stories or discussed with your mom or father about any challenges or stresses military life may have caused? Okay. Do you have any questions about any of the legal principles or issues we've discussed throughout the day? You think you can be a fair and impartial juror? Thank you, sir. I'm going to switch it up a bit and go over here to the end of 121, please.
I'm married. I have children. I hold a bachelor in education. I retired from teaching a couple of years ago, and now I'm back in the district as a literacy coach part-time. Hobbies, I do extended glass fusing, and then
I'm sorry, glass?
fusing.
What is that?
You take glass and you use a kiln and you melt it and create things.
Okay, an artistic use of glass?
Yes.
Okay.
And then baking.
All right, ma'am. Do you have you served in the military?
No, but I have a son-in-law that's in the Coast Guard.
Okay. Do you have close friends? Is he career filled?
I believe he's going to, yes.
Okay. How long has he been in?
5 years.
Right. Do you have any friends or other family members that have been career military? Okay. Do you have any questions about any of the issues that were presented today?
No, sir.
Could you be a fair and impartial juror? Thank you. Number 128. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon. I was born in New York and I moved to Florida in 2001. I graduated high school. I'm in college for nursing. I work full-time right now. And I like football. That's my hobby, and that's it.
Okay, ma'am. Do you have any family members or close friends that are in the military? Are they career military?
Yeah, my uncle.
Okay. How long has he been in?
I don't know, a couple of, like 30-something years.
Okay. Have you spoken with him about military life as a career officer, career person?
No.
Okay. Is there anything about issues or principles we talked about? Thank you. Sir, number 135. Please.
I've been in Tampa 40 years. Worked for the phone company for 20. I'm single, but I have been with somebody for about 12 years now. I do have a brother in in the military. I think he's retired now. I don't talk to him much. He lives in Hawaii.
Okay. Your hobbies or interests?
I play music. I like music, and my kitties. I have 5 cats.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the last part.
Cats.
Oh, okay. Your education, sir?
I have 2 degrees. I have a ASN in nursing and also an ASN in computer technology.
Okay, sir. Have you served in the military?
No.
Do you have family or friends that are career military?
My brother, he served in the Navy for
just a minute ago.
over 20 years.
But you haven't discussed his experience or life much in the military?
No.
Okay. Any questions about anything we've spoken about today?
No, a lot of them have already been answered.
Okay, sir.
Actually, all of them that I was going to ask have already been answered.
Okay, sir. Could you be a fair and impartial juror in this case?
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Ma'am, 136, can you tell us about yourself?
Yes, I'm originally from Kentucky. I moved here with my parents. Graduated with the SPC. Still going SPC. I'm like a career student. I have 3 children. Within the next 3 weeks, I'll be 16, 9, and 7. I was married. I'm divorced. I work for a credit union, large credit union, loan officer. I also have a partnership with the schools where I teach children about money, investing, savings, interest, all that type of thing. I've been doing that for Hillsborough County Schools for the last 7 years. And for my hobbies is anything that my kids want to do because they're my life.
Okay. Thank you. Any questions or issues about what we've spoken?
No, and my grandfather was career military. My mother was born in Japan. And my brother was military as well.
Career military?
No.
Okay.
Just my grandfather was career military.
Have you spoken to your mother about growing up in a military family?
A little bit.
Did she discuss with you any stressors or hardships or challenges about that?
She said she enjoyed it.
Okay, thank you. Could you be a fair and impartial juror?
Absolutely.
Thank you. Sir, number 139, tell us about yourself, please.
I'm a Tampa native. Made it through 2 years of college. Married since '93. 1 son. He'll be 8 next month. Work for Tampa Electric. I'm a substation electrician. And like to fish when I can get out and do whatever I can with my son when I can.
Okay, sir. Go ahead.
Have 2 uncles, retired military. One was Air Force, one was Army. They're deceased some time now. I do have 1 friend. He is a colonel in Marine Corps, and he'll be a part of it.
Okay, sir. Have you ever discussed with those folks who are career military or retired about their lives in the military? And,
yeah, different answers. One uncle, his wife was here in the Plant City area while he was gone. The other uncle, my aunt traveled with him and their 2 kids and moved from place to place. And my friend is still in service. His wife and the 4 kids stay here. He goes where he has to go.
anything about what you have learned about their experiences that would affect your ability to serve fairly and impartially in this case?
No, sir.
Have any questions about anything we've spoken about?
No, sir.
Thank you, sir. Number 141, please tell us about yourself, sir.
Single, never been married. I don't have any kids. I don't have any family or friends that are in the military. I was never in the military. I was born in Minnesota, moved to Georgia when I was 6, moved to Kansas City when I was 10, and went to college at the University of Kansas. I got master's degrees in biochemistry and biophysics. I moved down here 2.5 years ago to work as a researcher. I manage a lab that does exploratory drug discovery for Alzheimer's disease. Am I missing?
Maybe just hobbies or interests?
Hobbies, I play piano, and then like being outdoors, like camping, cycling.
Okay, do you have any questions about anything we've spoken about?
No.
Could you be a fair and impartial juror?
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Number 142, please tell us about yourself.
I'm a Tampa native. I've been married, going to be 20 years this year. I have 2 children, an 18-year-old daughter and a 15-year-old son. I've traveled a lot because of my husband's previous career.
Which was
And
what, ma'am?
He was a professional chess player
Oh, okay.
back in the 90s. And then, and so my hobbies is we love sports, and I like to work out and my children.
Okay. Do you have any questions about any of the issues that we've spoken about?
Not at all. You're very clear. Also, I do have family that was in the military but not career, and they're way before me, like an uncle that I have a huge family that I didn't really know, and 2 cousins, so I don't know anything really. We never talked about anything with the military.
Okay. Could you be a fair and impartial juror?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Number 145.
Hi.
Hello, ma'am.
I was born in Texas, moved to Florida in March of '88. I have 2 children, boy and a girl. I finished school. I was a manager for Family Dollar for 15 years, and my hobbies are I like mud bogging, camping, fishing. My dad was in the military. He was in World War II, and we moved around a lot. It didn't affect me. My nephew is in the Army right now. My cousin just got dismissed from the Army. And I have a niece that's going there now, and I have 2 other nieces that one just married a military that just got out, and he's supposed to be a sheriff in Polk County. And then I have a niece that's married to higher up Army person that has made it a career. And yes, I think I could be quiet. No, not quiet, answer it truthfully.
I think, are you meaning to say, ma'am, that you could be fair and unbiased?
Yes.
Okay.
That's it.
I thought that's what you were saying. Okay, ma'am. Did you tell me about your interests?
Yes.
Oh, yes, you did. Mud bogging and camping. And, yeah, okay, that's right. Yes, sir. Do you have any questions about any of the issues we've talked about?
No.
Okay. Given that quite a few folks in your life have served in the military, do you think that would affect your ability to serve fairly and impartial in this, since the context of this occurred within the military family?
I think I can answer it truthfully.
Could you be a fair juror or would that? Okay, thank you. Ma'am, 147, please tell us about yourself.
I was born and raised here in Florida. I graduated high school and I haven't attended college as of yet. I've been in home health care for the past 4 years. I have a daughter in elementary school. I've been in a relationship for the past 5 years, and I enjoy spending time with my daughter and family.
Any friends or family in career military?
No, sir.
Have you served in the military?
No, sir.
Or the person that you're in a relationship with?
No, sir.
Okay. Do you have any questions about any of the issues we've talked about?
I don't.
Do you believe you can be a fair and impartial juror?
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am. Number 148, sir.
48. Formerly from Pennsylvania, a trained engineer. I transferred here about 20 years ago, over 20 years ago. And also a union officer for the local board of engineers in government and safety affairs. About 3 years of college accumulated. Divorced father of 2 adult children. Brother, he's retired from the military Army Reserve. Interests, reading books, and let's see, sporting events outside of sporting events.
Any questions on any of the issues we've discussed?
No.
Could you be fair and impartial in this case?
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Ma'am, number 149, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. I was born and raised in New Jersey. I have a bachelor's degree in digital design. I have 3 grown children, 8 grandchildren. I've been married 43 years. Out of those 43 years, 20 of them were spent in Germany. 3 when my husband was active duty, which he was active duty for 10 years. He was an Army reservist for another 22 years. During that time, he was also a Department million. States, Germany, came in 2000.
Do you think that your personal experience as part of a military family would cause you sympathy for anyone? Is there anything about that might affect your judgment?
Yes, sir.
Can you be fair and partial?
Yes, sir.
Did you tell me your hobbies?
Yes, sir.
Oh,
Photography.
photography, I'm sorry. Do you have any questions?
Yes, sir.
All right, and can you be fair and partial?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Sir, 50
4 years. We have 2 more children. I retired from the military in 1991 and retired from the state of Florida Department of Health in 2011. I have a master's degree in nuclear engineering, and hobbies now I like to garden and manage my finances.
Boy, I'd like to get to that point in life. Sir, do you have any questions about any of the issues we've talked about?
No, sir.
The fact that you were career military, is that going to cause you to be biased in any fashion in this case?
No, sir.
Thank you, sir. I have no further questions. Thank you. Ma'am, number 157, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. I was born and raised here in Florida. Single, no children. A couple of years of college in business. I'm a director of recruitment for a search firm here in Tampa. And my brother is a career military based in Hawaii.
Have you just ever discussed with your brother any anything about military life? And
yes.
Is there anything about what you've learned from him that you think may affect your ability to serve fairly and impartially in this case? Did you tell me hobbies and interests?
No. Travel, shopping, cooking, music, anything.
All right. Do you have any questions about any of the issues we talked about?
No.
And you can be fair and impartial. Thank you. 158. Thank you.
Yeah, hi. I was raised in the Midwest, my old girl. My father was in the military and World War II, he was a Marine. I went to college in South Dakota, got my degree, BA in education, art education. Was married and adopted a daughter, and was divorced. And when I came down to Florida, then I got into the health. Anyway, I worked for a hospital down there for 28 years. And the last thing I was doing was a histology technologist. I just retired in December. My husband, his father was career military man. He was a chief naval officer. So my husband did travel a lot.
Did he ever discuss with you any specific issues or challenges?
There was a lot of domestic abuse in that family, unfortunately.
Do you think your knowledge of that situation would affect your ability to serve as a fair and impartial juror in this case?
I think I can be impartial.
Any questions about any of the issues we have?
No. And I also had many uncles that were in the military as well. One was also a career man.
Okay. Have you spoken to them about their career service and any challenges they may have faced in their career?
My uncle that was in the military as a career, his son committed suicide. Some problems with that. I don't really know the details of that much.
Is that the person we spoke about earlier this afternoon? Okay. Thank you. Do you have any questions and any issues that we've talked about?
Let him know I like to garden.
Oh, I forgot about that. Sorry.
So, I'm
Here?
No, not in this.
All right. Thank you, ma'am. The last thing I need to talk to you folks about, and I know it's late in the afternoon, on these slips, can you fill out there is a very, excuse me for a moment. Yes. There's a very kind of vague question about whether you or any family member have been accused of a crime. Your knowledge of that situation or your experience would affect your ability to serve fairly and impartially. For instance, if you thought you or that person was unjustly accused or mistreated or in any fashion done wrong by the criminal justice system that might affect your ability to serve as a fair and impartial juror or bias you against law enforcement. That's kind of what I'm trying to get at. And so I'm going to do this relatively rapidly, acknowledging how long we've been there and what we've been talking about all this time. So with that in mind, and if I miss anybody, forgive me. Number 4, who was that individual? Did you indicate that somebody had been accused of a crime?
Accused of a crime? Oh, I was.
Okay. How long ago?
85.
Anything about that situation going to affect your view of the evidence or testimony in this era? Okay. Thank you. Number 6.
I had a son-in-law that was guilty of bank fraud. He served 13 months.
How long ago was that, sir?
He just got out. So in June, last June.
Anything about your knowledge of his situation that would affect your ability to serve as a fair and impartial juror in this case?
He was guilty and got what he deserved.
Okay. Anyone else other than that was a son-in-law?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyone else?
Stepson.
Okay.
Charged and found guilty of first-degree attempted murder.
Okay. So how long ago was that?
That's quite a while ago. I think he went in 94, got out just after 2000.
Was that in Florida?
Yes, sir.
Out of Hillsborough County?
No, the crime was in Hillsborough County. He served in Brevard County.
Okay. Did you follow along in his legal situation when all that happened?
Not too much. I knew he was guilty.
Okay.
I just sat back and let him go to jail.
Anything about that situation would affect your ability to serve fairly and impartially?
Absolutely none.
Okay. Anyone else that pertains to? Thank you, sir. Number 9, ma'am.
Yeah, so it's me. When I was 19, I had an unknown beer at a attorney party. The police came in.
Nobody ever does that anymore.
I put it on there because
Okay.
I wanted to be honest.
Anything about that situation that would affect your ability to serve fairly and impartially in this case?
No, sir.
Thank you. Number 10, sir.
I had 2 brothers, one in the 70s did prison time, and one in the 80s did jail time, both drug-related.
Okay, sir. Did you follow along in their legal situation at the time?
You talking about like attending to know?
Or talk to them about their cases or talk to their lawyers or anything?
Speak to them.
Okay. Anything about your knowledge of their situation affect your ability to serve fairly and impartially?
No.
Okay, thank you, sir. Number 11, number 12. Sir.
I got Baker Act.
Okay.
I didn't follow along or anything, and doesn't.
Okay, basically would be an involuntary commitment into a hospital?
Yeah.
Okay, just for your information, that would not be a criminal case.
Well, he also shot at
That would take a lot of your friend's situation. Did you follow along in his situation? No. Okay, anything about his situation affect your ability to serve on this group? Thank you, sir. Number 32, I think your form was blank?
No. I had one, I just had put it in the wrong place. It was a cousin, but he was found as innocent, wasn't going to affect anything.
How long ago was that?
Probably 35 years ago.
Isn't pertinent to your experience or judgment now?
No.
Okay, thank you, sir. Number 34, sir?
Yes.
Who was that, sir?
What was the question?
Oh, I see. I think you indicated on your form that you or a family member or a friend had been accused of a crime.
That would be me.
Okay, sir. How long ago?
97, 96.
Okay, was that in Hillsborough?
That was in Polk.
Okay. Did you draw any opinion as to whether you were treated fairly or unfairly as a result of that?
Treated fairly. The only backlash that I had out of that experience was the eyewitness who said that I committed that crime. And so it gave me a whole other perspective on what somebody said they saw.
Anything about that experience that you think would affect your ability to serve fairly and impartially in this case? Was that a misdemeanor situation or a felony situation?
It would have been a felony situation.
Okay. But that didn't result in anything in a
No, I wasn't arrested. I was just detained.
Oh, I see. Okay. It never went through a court situation?
No.
Okay. Again, it's not going to affect your judgment in this case?
No.
Good deal. Thank you, sir. Did I miss anybody on the first row that I didn't inquire? Okay. On the second row, number 39, ma'am?
Actually, it was my husband before I met him for, I don't know if it was a DUI or a started.
Is that anybody else? Is that going to affect your judgment or ability to serve in this case?
No, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, sir.
I have my brother served time, it was about 15 years ago.
Okay, for what type of offense, sir?
It was federal, it was drugs and trafficking.
Okay, did you follow along in his legal situation when it was going on?
No, I didn't really, it was a long time ago and I just wasn't interested in it.
Okay, and is there anything about his situation that would affect your ability to serve fairly and impartially?
No.
Thank you, sir. Number 55, sir, you've indicated affirmatively to that?
Yes, 1967, my brother was arrested for larceny. And there was no jail time. I think it was just fine. Just about over it now.
You're just getting over it now? For the record, are you speaking facetiously? Thank you. Anything else? Any other situation?
No, sir.
Okay, thank you, sir. Number 59, ma'am.
It was my husband. I think they were related. I didn't know him then. Borrowed a battery to crank their boat when they were out fishing. And they put it back, but the man returned and he was upset. He used his battery, so we had him arrested, but the charges were dropped. I think it was either later that day or the next day.
Are you still married? Anything about that man that would affect your opinion?
No, sir.
Thank you. Number 60 is not with us anymore. Number 61, sir.
Oh, let's see. Arrested but found innocent in the 70s sometime for growing a couple marijuana plants in my college dorm room. Accused by...
That was a class project, wasn't it?
Later in the 70s, being a smuggler with for no reason whatsoever in open court. And then shortly after I moved to Florida in the 90s, I had a stepson who was arrested for breaking and entering, found guilty, served some time in county jail and a few years of probation. I don't think any of that would affect my judgment in this case.
Do you feel that you were wrongfully treated or accused or mistreated by the criminal justice system in any of your situations?
Not particularly. The issue with the prosecuting attorney was a personal problem on his part. It wasn't endemic of the justice system.
Okay. You can separate that from your deliberation and consideration. You can separate that out from your deliberation. Okay. Thank you, sir. Number 71, ma'am. Have you or someone else in your family or friends been accused of a crime, I think the form indicated? Who was that, man? How close to a friend?
I'm sorry, you'll need to speak up for us, Council.
Could you speak up, please, and repeat that for me? Was a friend? Okay, and how long ago was your friend's situation? And was it in Hillsborough County?
Yes.
What type of offense or investigation did it involve?
It was possession.
Possession, okay. Did you draw any conclusions as to whether that person was treated fairly or unfairly?
He was treated fairly.
And is there anything about that situation that would affect your ability to serve fairly and impartially in this case?
No.
Thank you, ma'am. On the third row, number 113, you indicated that you or someone had been accused of a crime, is that correct?
My brother.
Was that in Hillsborough County?
Domestic violence.
Okay. How recently?
That was probably 15 years ago.
Any,
Most recently, violation of a restraining order
for him?
for him.
Okay. On either of those occasions, did you draw any conclusion that he had been treated unfairly by the criminal justice system? I missed
He
that.
was treated fairly.
Thank you. Anything about your knowledge of that can cause you to be prevent you from being a fair and impartial juror? Thank you. Number 112 is not with us anymore. Number 111, did you leave that blank?
I had a question. I didn't know DUI or was
Well, technically, I guess it is, yeah.
stepson, and then step-son-in-law that was arrested for cruelty to animals in Cole County a few years ago.
Anything about those situations would affect your ability to serve fairly and impartially in this case? Did you draw any opinion or conclusion as to whether they were treated fairly or unfairly? Could you?
They were fairly.
Okay, thank you. I saw your response to the court reporter needs to be able to take that. Thank you, ma'am. Number 108, ma'am.
Yes.
And who was that? What was that about?
My now husband, then fiance, was arrested the night of his bachelor party. That was not very happy. I believe he and his buddies were at one of the bars in Ybor,
And they led him astray.
Yeah. But I believe he was treated fairly.
Okay, anything about his situation that caused you to be concerned about your ability to serve fair or as a juror?
No.
Thank you, ma'am. Number 98. Sir, did you check that box as far as whether you or some friend or relative had been accused of a crime?
Nothing that I can remember or care to talk about. I mean, nothing major. I don't even remember checking that box.
Okay, maybe I marked the form down wrong.
Okay, and maybe I did. A lot of things that accuse a lot of things, but
Okay, so is it fair to say that anything that you may recall would not affect your judgment?
No, nothing.
It involves friends or family?
nothing like that. No,
Okay, thank you, sir. Number 88, ma'am.
I had, I want to say like 4 or 5 years ago, I had a misdemeanor that was sort of thrown out.
Okay, do you think you were treated fairly or unfairly in that?
Fairly.
Anything about that situation affect your ability to serve fair, as a fair and impartial juror?
No.
Thank you, ma'am. Number 86, sir.
Yes, sir.
Who was that individual?
That was me.
What was that about?
It was a felony battery.
Okay. And how was that resolved?
Yeah, got the PTI, so it was dismissed.
Anything about, do you feel that you were treated fairly or unfairly in that situation?
I was treated fairly.
Anything about that situation caused you not to be able to serve as a fair and impartial juror?
No, sir.
Okay, thank you. Number 84, sir.
Yeah, I had an uncle that is served 25 years for murder.
Okay, sir. Were you close with him growing up? Did you follow along in his legal situation at the time? Did you speak with him about his situation during his incarceration? No. Is there anything about his situation that you think may affect your ability to serve, in this case, a murder case? Okay. Thank you, sir. Number 135, sir. Tell me about whether it was you or someone else?
No, me.
Okay.
Marijuana.
Okay. How long ago was that?
31 years ago, I think.
Okay. Have you become rehabilitated? Is that right?
Yeah.
All right, sir. Yeah, anything about that that would cause you or prevent you from being a fair and impartial juror?
No.
Okay.
I was treated fairly.
All right, sir. Thank you. Number 136, ma'am.
And this is where we're going to ask once again everyone to stand up. It'll help our court reporter.
Yeah, it's my brother, who's currently in prison. For crimes, just drugs, couldn't get himself together.
Here or up north?
He's in Florida.
In Florida. All along in his situation? Okay. Anything about his legal problems would cause you concern about being able to serve fairly and impartially? Thank you, sir. Ma'am, excuse me. Oh, I know how to hear myself to people, don't I? Number 141.
Yes, I was arrested 10 years ago. I was 18. Two fraternity brothers were in a fight about beer money, and I got in the middle of it for some reason. We were in a McDonald's parking lot, and police came, and I was arrested. They just didn't know the full story. They were trying to clear us away from the soccer moms that were trying to shield the rights of their kids' eyes. So,
anything about that situation affect your ability to serve?
No, I wasn't charged.
Okay. All right, sir. That's not going to affect your ability to serve as a juror in your mind? Okay, thank you. Ma'am, number 142.
To be honest with you, I have a large family, both sides of my family. I have probably a few uncles, a few cousins that were in and out of jail. I couldn't even tell you what they were arrested for. Some are career little criminals. We weren't out around them when we were growing up, but I wanted to be perfectly honest with you. I couldn't even, and I probably have some on both sides of the family.
Okay.
So, and then I believe, it's not talked about, but I think I remember hearing that I think my father was accused of something when he was really, really young, so he was arrested, but then nothing ever came of it, like he was like, they don't discuss it, so I couldn't even tell you what it was.
Any of those situations or those folks' problems affect your ability to serve fair and impartial?
No, because I'm not, no.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Number 143, is no one with us. Number 145.
Yes, my husband was arrested for hitting cops.
Okay. Was that recently? Or?
Back in 89.
All right.
He went to prison. He didn't get out until, anyway, that's the first time. Second time was in 99, and he went to prison again. And no, it doesn't affect him.
Okay. Because there will be law enforcement officers and detectives testifying, and given your husband's situation and the accusations against him, is that going to affect your ability to fairly weigh the credibility of those types of witnesses? Anything about that situation you think would cause you any concern about your ability to serve on the jury?
No.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Number 160. Yes, sir.
I was arrested in 2000.
I'm sorry, sir, your voice really got to project for me.
Sorry about that. I was arrested in 2003 for domestic violence. It was dismissed. My father was arrested a few times when I was younger. So my sister has been arrested for DUI.
Do you feel you were treated fairly or unfairly in your situation? Anything, did you have knowledge about your father's situation growing up?
I was in with jail.
Anything that you know about his situation that would affect your ability to serve fairly in this jury?
I'll be able to treat it fairly.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. On the back row, number 181. Ma'am, who was that? Your sister-in-law. And for what type of offense?
Conspiracy.
Okay.
Federal.
Federal charge? Did you follow along in her situation?
Yes.
Okay. Did you draw any conclusion or opinion as to whether she was treated fairly or unfairly by the criminal justice system?
She was treated fairly.
Okay. Is there anything about her situation that you think would affect your ability to serve as a fair and impartial juror?
No, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Number 176.
I cannot believe I checked that. I wasn't really been drawing on my brother when he was 17, got arrested.
Okay.
My parents did talk about it with the 7 siblings in front of us because they were mortified. I'm assuming the law treated them fairly. My parents did not. They were.
Okay. Anything about that can affect your ability to serve? Thank you, ma'am. Number 172.
So that would be my cousin in the early 2000s. It's petty theft, grand theft, check forgery. There's a couple other charges that don't come to mind. She was treated fairly. She basically buried herself with her own evidence.
Okay. Would that affect your ability?
It would not affect mine.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Number 169.
May I approach?
Yes, ma'am. Please.